Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for watching this video. Today we are doing my favorite eye products of 2018. I have palettes, I have single shadows, I have mascara, brow products, all of the things that go on your eyeballs and in this area of your face. So if you want to see what my favorites are, then let's just go ahead and get started. Okay, so I'm sorry if I sound like a little off in this video. My throat, so I had strep throat like last week and then it's been hurting again, so I went back to the doctor yesterday and I guess I have what they call resistant strep, which is basically like strep throat that just will not go away. So I'm on an even stronger antibiotic now and my voice just sounds kind of off, so that's, if you notice a difference, that is why. But nothing's gonna stop me from talking about my favorite makeup products because that's just what gets me excited about life. So let's go ahead and start off with palettes, I guess. Okay, so I did a warm tone palette, a cool tone palette, a large palette, a small palette, and then my favorite formulas. So that's kind of the direction we're taking things. Let's go ahead and start off with the favorite formulas. Now, my high-end pick for this is definitely, without a doubt, Persona. Oh my gosh, you guys. I tried this brand this year and I became obsessed with everything. I love this palette. This is the Identity palette. If you are in the market for a neutral eyeshadow palette, here you go. You get warm, you get cool, you get shimmer, you get matte, you get deep, you get light. It is everything you need in a palette. So I think just like overall, everything I'm talking about, this is the best like combo palette. It's warm, it's cool, it's everything. And the formula, oh my goodness, the mattes blend like a dream. The shimmers are so creamy, one swipe, pigmented. They just feel like a cream shadow. It's amazing. They also did recently put out their eye kits. Let me actually grab them. So they have the Copper Theory one, which comes with these 5 shadows here, and then an eyeliner and a brush. And then they also have the pink one, which is just 5 pink matte shadows. This is beautiful as well. But the formula is so good. I love the shimmers, I love the mattes, and I just love everything. Like, everything about their eyeshadows is just so good. So, love Persona's formula so much. Like I said, blendable, creamy, pigmented, not a ton of fallout. It's just amazing, and I love it so much. Yes, I just hugged an eyeshadow palette. Act like you haven't done it. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, now for drugstore, this isn't necessarily... like, you can't find this at, like, Walmart, Target, Walgreens, that kind of stuff. But you can find this at Ulta, and it is a little bit cheaper than, like, high-end, and it's ColourPop. So, I'm not really saying this is, like, my drugstore pick. It's probably just, like, my less expensive pick. But, you guys, the formula on ColourPop's eyeshadows is seriously amazing. They are so blendable. They have a little bit more fallout in the shimmers than, like, Persona does, for example. But the mattes blend so well. This is the Give It To Me Straight palette, and I love this. I love like purples and peaches. I even have that kind of going on my eyes today. But it is just so beautiful. The shimmers are so gorgeous as well. Like I said, there's a little bit more fallout, but they're still like packing a punch. And they just blend so well. I cannot get over how blendable these are. And I mean, they're relatively inexpensive. I think this palette is maybe $16, so it's not bad, and you can use coupons and rewards at Ulta. So I would definitely buy from Ulta though, not their website, because like I said, you can use coupons and rewards. But I love that one. I also love their Fame palette, which actually brings me to the next category, which is the best cool toned palette. So it definitely goes to this. Because of the formula, I love ColourPop's formula, obviously, but also this cool toned palette is gorgeous. What I love about it is you get a ton of shadows in here, but they're also just not like repetitive. You get like everything is different enough, I feel like. I mean, there are some shades like these two that are kind of similar, like one's slightly deeper than the other, but they're not the exact identical shades. And so I love that you get kind of more like purpley tones down here. You get more like neutrally browns, and then you get some like really cool tone kind of grayish colors as well. So I just think it's beautiful. I think that if you're looking for a cool toned palette, this is perfect because you just get like mattes, shimmers, And you get like different ranges of cool tone. Like I was saying, you get more like grays and purples and then more cool tone browns. So you really can do a lot of different looks with just this one palette. I feel like cool tone palettes this year kind of are starting to make a comeback. Like I feel like 2017, even like half of 2018 was very warm toned heavy. And I feel like cool tone palettes like the last 6 months have really been trickling in, and I have a feeling in 2019 we'll see a lot more of them. So I'm kind of excited about that. It's just something different, and you know, the makeup industry is always evolving, which I think is fun. So, but let's talk about a warm tone palette that I have been loving. And this was hard because I do like to wear warm tones pretty frequently. I just think they look better on my skin tone, my eye color, all of that. So I was going through all of my palettes, like what is the best warm tones? My go-to warm looks usually incorporate more like peach and pink and orange maybe, but more like burnt rusty orange, not bright orange. So, and even like a little bit of plum. That is just like my favorite, like kind of what's going on today on my eyes. That's like my favorite kind of warm look. So when I was going through my palettes, I was like, okay, what goes into that? And it was this one. This is from Makeup Revolution, and this is their Reloaded Newtrals 3. Now, this palette is definitely on the smokier side. It's on the deeper side. You get a lot of really rich shades in here. But I am not joking, you guys, when I say that I have never gotten more compliments on my eyeshadow than when I wear this palette. Every single time I wear this eyeshadow palette, I get a compliment at work about my eyeshadow. Like, people, I don't know why, but I love to do this gold on the lid and then like this peach in the crease and maybe some of these like more reddish purpley tones in the crease or on the outer corner as well. And it's so beautiful. I love the richness of this palette. I love the tones in here. Like I was saying, this is the kind of warm tones that I really gravitate towards. Just because I love the richness of it. I think it's absolutely stunning. And I really do like this Reloaded formula. These are super affordable palettes. They're like $7. And you can kind of build them up a little bit more. So like the shimmers, they're not one swipe pigmentation, but you can build them up, which I really like. And the mattes are so beautiful. They blend so well. So I definitely recommend this palette if you're in the market for like a rich, warm tone. I love this. What I like about this formula though is that I can get more like even lighter tones. Like you look at this palette and you're like, wow, that's always going to be really dark. But not really, because the mattes are pigmented, but not like really powdery, crazy pigmented. You can sheer a lot of these deep tones out and it looks so beautiful. So like even this shade right here, this like purpley one, I can kind of fluff that into the crease and it just looks like a little kiss of purple. It doesn't look really deep and intense. So I love this palette, definitely recommend. Okay, now for my favorite large palette, I had to choose this, you guys, because not only do I love this palette, I love the creator of this palette, and this palette provided me with a really amazing opportunity this year to do a video with her, and it's the Emily Edit Wants palette. I am obsessed with this palette. I still have not even touched the surface on the amount of looks I can do with this. I love the giant mirror you get. I think that is something that is so unique. Like the ColourPop palettes don't have a mirror. The Persona ones do, but a lot of really big palettes like this, you don't get a mirror. And I love that you do in this. It's awesome. But what I love about this palette the most is just the versatility of it. You get so many different shades in here, you guys. You get like just everything. I mean, you get colors, you get neutrals, you get darks, you get lights. She put everything in this palette that you need to create a full look. And her and I did do a video together where we chose each other's shades, and it was so amazing. So if you haven't watched that video, I will link it for you guys. And the formula on these is so beautiful. They're similar to the Makeup Revolution Reloaded. So obviously, I mean, this is Makeup Revolution as well, so it kind of makes sense. But in the sense that like you can really build these up, or you can sheer these like deeper shades out. Like in the video that we did together, she picked corduroy for me with a lot of like the purple tones, and I was kind of like, ooh, like how am I gonna do that, you know? But I really just lightly dusted corduroy on the outer corner and it looked beautiful. So I think you can just totally manipulate these shades so much, which is so fun. And again, you can just combine so many different colors together to get so many different looks. And it's still so affordable. I think this is around 20 bucks. It is now back in stock at Ulta. And I just think if you want a palette that is larger, but it's still pretty slim as far as packaging goes, and it comes with a great mirror as well. So for travel, I think this is even really good. You could literally get so many different looks out of here. It's amazing. I love this so, so much. Okay, now for my smaller palettes, I did choose some that are purely just matte. And the reason being because I love this matte formula so much. The shimmer ones, not so much, but the mattes, yes. And it is the Maybelline City Mini Palettes. I think I talked about these last year, but the ones that are all matte are my favorite. And before, they only had this one. This is Matte About Town. And it's just a lot of like matte, different kind of shades of brown and beige, and you get like a matte cream. And now, this year, they did release more all matte ones. I think they released like maybe three new matte palettes, but I only picked up one. I was really good. No, maybe it was just 2 new matte ones, and then one had shimmer in it. I don't know. But anyways, I just picked up one, and I was really good. And this one is High Rise Sunset. So this is, again, all matte. You get like a matte cream. You get a matte yellow, which is really fun. You get like a matte orange, a matte red, and a matte like light brown. If I'm going to do like orangey yellow, this is the palette that I go for. There is something about this formula, you guys. I don't know what it is because it's matte, but it's not dry, chalky matte at all. It is like a satiny matte. Like, I don't even know. It's so amazing, and they blend so well. There is a little bit of like powderiness kick up to it, but just tap your brush off and you're good to go. And they blend so effortlessly. And again, the finish on them, it's not like flat, chalky matte. It's a really beautiful, almost like satin, natural matte kind of finish. It's gorgeous. And so I love these two. I think there is another one that's kind of similar to this. It's maybe like a little bit deeper, a little bit more like cool toned. But if you are looking for a good little matte palette, these are going to be your best friend. All right, let's go ahead and talk about singles. So some singles this year that I discovered that I think are amazing are incredibly cheap. They are 50 cents. You're welcome. And that is a thing. Like, when I go into my yearly favorites, I do think about price, because it's like that all plays a part in how good a product I think it is, if it's worth the price. Now, the Persona Identity palette is like $32. Totally worth the price. Could even be worth more. It is like, it's good. But price does play a part in it. And when I was going through my single shadows, not only were these good for the price, I think that they are way better than the actual price. Like, these could be sold for like $4 or $5 a piece, and I would probably still say, yes, they're worth it. But no, they're only 50 cents. And these are the LA Colors matte shadows. Again, kind of with the City Mini palettes. I don't love the shimmer formula in here, but the matte formula, it is so good. That's what the mattes I have on today. I did a little bit of Foxy in the crease, which is a great like brown transition shade. I did a little bit of Forbidden, which is this really gorgeous like little rust color in the crease. And then on the outer corner, I did a little bit of Crushed, which is this beautiful matte plum. But I also have Secret, which is a great cool toned transition shade. I have a Whisper, which is a little bit like lighter pinky cream color. And then I have French Vanilla, which is actually what I used on my brow bone and inner corner today, which is just a really beautiful matte creamy vanilla shade. I think that these blend so well. They are so just smooth, and they're pigmented but not overly pigmented, which again, that's the kind of mattes that I usually prefer. And they blend so well. You can find these at Dollar General, and I think maybe Family Dollar. I don't know. Dollar General is normally where I find mine. And again, I don't really love the shimmers. They're okay. They're not my favorite, but the mattes, oh my gosh, these matte singles, you guys, are so good. And I mean, they're really small, like little compact, and you can just store them. You can stack them. I need to click all these closed, obviously. But they are just so good. They blend so well. They're pigmented. They're creamy. They're not overly powdery. What else do you want in a matte shadow? Plus they're 50 cents. Okay, now for my favorite cream eyeshadow, I had had to pick these. These are the Essence Metal Shock eyeshadows. So these are kind of like a cream liquid type of formula, but I am obsessed. The one I have on today all over my lid is the one in 1 Second to Mars, and it's like a gorgeous peachy shimmer. I also love Solar Explosion, which is a great gold, and then Stars and Stories is a great like taupey mauve kind of purpley shade. I love these. These are one swipe metallic. They are so good. They dry really well. They don't look overly crepey. Sometimes with liquid, creamy kind of shadows, when they dry, they can look really thick and kind of chunky on the eyelid. These don't do that at all. Like, I don't feel like they accentuate any lines I have up there at all, which is amazing. And they sit so well. They last forever because they do kind of dry down. And because they're kind of that like creamy liquid, they don't have a ton of fallout either when you start blending. So I love this so much. Definitely recommend. I want more colors. They have some fun colors too, like I think a blue or like a teal maybe. So it's really fun. I love these so much, and they're super affordable as well. Okay, for eyeshadow primer, I do want to shout out the CoverGirl Lid Lockup. I am obsessed. This came out this year, and I think a lot of people really like it because it's more of like a tacky primer. So it grabs on to shimmer shadow so well. I will say that I do like to wait for this to dry, or maybe I'll even put like a cream shadow kind of in the crease before I go in with my transition shade with this, just because it is a little tacky. Sometimes the crease shade can cling if you don't actually set it. But when you put a shimmer on top of this, it like clings to it and it just makes it like punch. It is so great. And it does come with like a doe foot, which I like because it's a pretty clean application. And I just think that this makes your shadows last so long, and that's all I need an eyeshadow primer to do. Okay, for eyeliner, I think I've talked about these probably like every year, but it's my Essence Extreme Lasting Eyeliner Pencils. OMG, I am obsessed. This year I really have gotten away from liquid liner. I do it occasionally, but not nearly as much as I used to. I used to do it like daily, and now I just don't. I kind of like the look of, you know, on a daily basis not doing liner because you can see the shadow more, which I think is fun. But I do still love a pencil eyeliner sometimes. Sometimes I'll do it on the top. Usually I just do it in the waterline. And most days it is my Silky Nude one, which this is like a little nubbin. I couldn't even tell you how many of these I bought. Couldn't tell you. This is probably like my 7th one. It's amazing. I also really love the brown, which is in But First Espresso. And then the black one is Black Love. I also really like. These last so long though. That is something that like, that's the reason that they keep being in my favorites every single year, is that they last so well on the waterline. It's amazing. And what I love is even with the brown, if I do it on the upper lashes and I want to smudge it, there's time to like smudge it out. It doesn't set super quick, but it does set eventually. So once it sets, it's there. So I would definitely just do like one line and then like smudge it out if you want to, and then go and do the other eye. I wouldn't line both eyes and then smudge because it'll set that way. So definitely just do kind of like one eye at a time if you want to smudge it. But oh my gosh, it says 16-hour wear on the packaging, and to be honest, I buy that. It lasts all day. It doesn't like run and look crazy. It's amazing. So definitely love those. Now for brows, I have a pencil that I am like really in love with, and I don't see myself not using ever. This is the Joah Brow Down to Me Brow Pencil and Gel. So Joah Beauty is a Korean inspired beauty brand that is now in CVS stores. And I've tried some different products from them. And you know, some of them I love, some of them I was like, meh, they're all right. But this brow pencil, oh my gosh, this brow pencil was like, I used it and I was like, man, my brows look good. Used it the next day and I was like, my brows look good. My brows look good every single time I use this pencil. And it is a slanted little pencil, like a little teardrop, and then the other side is a tinted gel. That is what I love about this, is that you don't have to buy a separate brow gel, and you can save yourself a little bit of money. And this pencil is like creamy, but not overly creamy to where it deposits way too much product in your brows. But it's also not dry to where you're like trying to like scratch your brows on, you know? It's like goes on really easily, but it's not too soft, you know? And then the gel is really nice because it doesn't get super clumpy, and the spoolie is really, really tiny. So it brushes through your brows really well, and it makes them look a lot more natural and just kind of fills everything in. There are days that if I'm just doing a quick kind of like no makeup, I'll just put the gel in my brows and not even do the pencil, and it totally works. I do wear the shade Taupe, and I think that's a pretty good shade match for me, but it's amazing. Totally recommend this pencil. It's great. I love the little duo of it. It's so easy. Okay, last but not least, let's talk about mascara. Now, this year I did love, obviously, my Essence Extreme Waterproof. Love that so much, but I was kind of trying some new mascaras on the upper lashes this year, and I like them, you know, but there wasn't one that like stood out to me that I was like, oh my gosh, obsessed. I need to mention this as like the yearly favorite. But the one that I am going to mention, I always use on my lower lashes. I don't use anything else, and it is the Covergirl Clump Crusher Water Resistant. This is a recommendation from Emily Noel. I have been using this now for years after watching her use it, and for the lower lashes, you guys, it is perfect because the brush is so, like, it's so perfect. So it like curves, right? And so it just like hugs the lower lashes perfectly, and you can just go and you're good. Like, you don't need to work a lot to use this, and it just like hugs that area so well. And it does not bleed, it doesn't smudge, but it's also not a pain in the butt to get off every day, which sometimes with waterproof mascaras, even ones from Covergirl, I'm actually trying one right now, and it can be a pain to get off the lower lashes, but for some, or the upper lashes, but for some reason, this one is never a pain to get off. So that is why I just love this, and I think for the lower lashes, it's just perfect, and you can't go wrong, so totally recommend. Alright guys, so that is it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know some of your favorite eye products down in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. My favorite lip video will be up next, and then after that we are going to do the worst products, and I think I'm also going to do like the worst trends of 2018. So that video will be finishing up this week, and then we have a ton of new drugstore stuff coming next week. So thank you guys again for watching, and I will catch you guys in my next video. Bye!